morning, Lululus. How you doing? So yesterday, I watched David Pakman's YouTube video where he had Nathan from Echo Tango Alpha on his show. And I've come to the conclusion that all of these people who find themselves to be so discerning, so smart, so genius, and call all of us blue MAGA, actually, I think it's you. That's blue MAGA. Because Nathan is an expert in his field. He spent decades, his entire adult life, in cybersecurity. He's worked for the US government, he's worked for the military, and then after that, he worked for banks and credit card companies in order to find malware, analyze different kinds of data, and identify statistical differences that may or may not indicate that something bad has happened somewhere, and both how to address it and how to prevent it from happening. That is his job. That's what he's done his entire life. And he has spent the last 9 months, he quit his job to defend democracy, and he spent the last 9 months analyzing all of this information and has come to the conclusion that what we're seeing is abnormal. It is not consistent with human behavior, and it requires further investigation. And David came out at the very beginning, like, let me just be clear that after everything that you've said, I've done my own research. I have this phone in my hand, I've Googled, and I've talked to people, and I don't believe you. I don't think that it's true. I think that there's other things that could explain this, and I think that they just did really well, and we don't want to admit it. Okay, well, how does that not sound like them? Because you guys are the first ones to admonish people on that side for using that exact same arguments against doctors when they're talking about little pricks in people's arms, right? They're like, how are you going to tell a doctor what they should or shouldn't be doing? They're an expert. They're a doctor. You don't know more than them. Well, guess what, David? And all the rest of you guys that continue to call all of us crazy, you don't know more about statistics and analysis than statisticians and people who work in cybersecurity. You just don't. I don't know more about how to build a 3 million follower following over on YT like you do, so you probably shouldn't take my advice about that, but you should take Nathan's advice when it comes to cybersecurity and statistical analysis. And Nathan did such an amazing job during this, because I would describe David's approach to him as being relatively adversarial. He tried here and there to make it sound like he was being devil's advocate, but I would say that he went out there to argue with him and that he wanted to prove him wrong. And Nathan met him with statistics and graphs every single step of the way. He did a fantastic job of laying out things in a way that is clear, objective, and he says this is not proof. This is simply data that illustrates that further information is needed, further investigation is needed, and if y'all just want to shut us up so bad, then you should be the first ones on the front lines advocating for these things to be released, for us to be able to see them, and for there to be a complex, comprehensive, third-party forensic audit of all of this information, because then you can restore the faith in all of these contests. Why don't you want that? Oh, it's because it's inconsistent with your beliefs. You don't want to believe these experts that are telling you that something is off here because it's inconsistent with your beliefs, the exact same way that doctors saying that Tylenol does not cause autism is now inconsistent with the beliefs of people over there. It's the same thing. You guys are blue MAGA, not us. And I want to be crystal clear, I don't even think that David is doing it on purpose. I think that normalcy bias and whatever you believe about something in the first place has a lot to do with how you're interpreting data later on down the line. Like, look at aliens, for instance. We were taught to believe that every single person that talks about aliens or has any sort of interest in it is a crazy person wearing a tinfoil hat. And then when the military and astronauts and people who are in bed with these huge weapons manufacturers came out under Congress, under oath, and said, yeah, they're real, they're right here, we actually have their ships, and we have some biologics as well, people are like, nah. That's crazy. Well, we have those same instincts when it comes to this sort of information. I wish I was wrong. I really do. I wish, because if I was, I could just white knuckle it. I could just hold on until next November and hope that everything is going to be fine. But they've already come out and said that they are going to change things next November. One of the people who is in charge of spreading the big lie has purchased the software that we use in those booths. He's already done it. And people who consider themselves to be more discerning have come out and said that. It's okay to say that he's planning on doing it again, but not that he did it last time, and I don't understand that. Just yesterday, the Joker was interviewed on Air Force One about Argentina, and he said, yeah, we did such a good job. I just want to congratulate the victor. We absolutely had a hand in it. Excellent job, little Marco. You really helped out with that. He admitted on live television that he interfered with the contest in Argentina. So why don't you think that he would do it here? And it's not just statistics. Did you know that Nathan went on the ground in Florida, in St. Lucie County, where they've seen some of the greatest anomalies that there's ever been, and he started to go door to door to people who had shown that they'd put their tallies in November, and he knocked on people's doors. And one of the doors that he knocked on was at a home that had not yet been constructed. Last November, he saw the people there and he said, "Hey, it shows that you did this last time from this house. Is that true?" And they were like, "No, this house didn't exist back then. We did this, but in a different county." Yeah, that is not okay. There is no differential diagnosis for something like that. And then they went to another address where there had been several people that were all registered out of this one address. And when they went there, it was a UPS store. Nobody lived there. And those are big, anomalous red flags. And yet some of you are going to hear that information and go, "That can't be true. I don't believe it. I don't want to be crazy." Well, you need to look at that. You need to look at that really closely and figure out why that is and wonder if you want to be like them. If you want to look at experts talking about the field that they have expertise in and still say that your own research is better than theirs. And if you've been on this Blue train with me the entire time, thank you. Let me know in the comments what it is for you. What's the thing that you can't let go about this contest, and what makes you so sure that things are different? It's the tweet for me, the tweet from Dark Batman, where he came out and said, "Yeah, if it wasn't for me," I gave the numbers of exactly how many people in each house of Congress and said, "Yeah, it was all me. And if she had done it, then I would have gone to prison." Yeah, it's that for me, along with, of course, all of the blaring graphs that showed to anybody who actually cares what the truth is. So please help me break this stigma. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. And if you are one of those people that considers themselves more discerning, I don't want to call you names. I want to wake you up, okay? So everybody, keep your eyes up, keep your feet on the ground. We'll see you next time. Ta-ta.